These are the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro wirelesses. They're a premium wireless gaming headset that I've been using for about a month now, but are they worth it? Let's find that out. But before we get into the video, I do want to mention that these headphones were sent out to me by Steelseries, but I am not being paid and every opinion given is mine and mine alone. So without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. So the first thing you'll see in the box is a manual. Under that is a soft bag with the headset inside of it. Next is the DAC. Inside the little accessories box are two USB-C to USB-C cables, a small little microphone puff, as well as an extra battery. So now with the unboxing out of the way, let's get into the build of the Arctis Nova Pro, starting with the relatively unique headband. It's made from a super soft fabric, which is quite stretchy and allows your head to have an even amount of pressure on it. It can be adjusted between 4 separate positions using the 3 holes, which allows for a lot of customizability. I personally have mine on the loosest position, which is perfect for my head size. The headband itself is made from a super strong metal, but does have some really soft plastic on the underside of it to reduce pressure from your head touching it through the fabric. Moving down to the hinges, they're actually impressively smooth with zero creaking at all. And they also have a wide range of tilt, which along with the plastic that connects to the ear cups, allow for an insane amount of positions which can be perfectly formed to your head shape. Continuing down to the right outer ear cup is a small microphone which is used for the active noise cancelling, which we'll go over a little later in the video. On the back is a button for turning on the Bluetooth connectivity, which can be super easily paired with your phone, laptop, or your PC by just holding the button down. When turning on Bluetooth, there'll be a little chime in the headset to indicate that you turned it on, as well as the little light above the button will be flashing blue. And on the outermost side of the ear cup is a little detachable metal plate, which if you'd like, you can buy a lot of different colors on the Steelseries website, along with matching headbands to go along with them. But as you probably noticed when I took off the plate, under it is one of the most cool and unique features on this headset. On the inside of the right ear cup is a battery, which can be easily pulled out and quickly replaced with the extra battery, which is always charging inside the included DAC, which means you'll never actually need to charge the headphones themselves. Whenever it dies, you just pop out the dead battery and replace it with the fully charged one that's always sitting in the DAC. This system allows you to essentially have infinite battery life, which is really weird considering I've needed to charge my old headset like once every 2 days, and not needing to feels really weird. Actually, now that I just mentioned the DAC, let me quickly go over some of the features on it. The front of the DAC has a little OLED screen on it, which can show a decent amount of information such as the battery percentage in your headphones and the one in the DAC, but it also shows you the decibels of your current volume, which can be changed using the dial on the right of the screen. If you prefer, there's also a detailed interface version, which shows you the exact audio settings as well as how much volume is coming out of each ear individually. I personally keep my DAC on the simple interface because just being able to glance over and see all the information that I want is really useful. But if you prefer a lot more information, then obviously the detailed one is there for you. Now back to the headset. On the left ear cup is another ANC microphone, but also a power button which can be used for a decent amount of things, with the first being obviously to power on and off your headphones by just holding it. But as I mentioned earlier, this headset also has active noise cancellation. If you don't know what ANC or active noise cancellation actually is, it's used to remove or mitigate a lot of frequencies from making it into your headphones. The ANC on the Nova Pro wireless is surprisingly really good. It won't really do much for a lot of loud sounds or if someone's directly talking to you, although the headphones do have a really tight seal, which prevents a lot of excess sound from already making it in. But with that being said, the ANC does get rid of a lot of lower background frequencies such as your PC or your room's air conditioning. You can turn this feature either on or off by just clicking the power button once when the headphones are already on. Accompanied by the active noise cancellation is a hear-through mode, which I'm sure, as you could probably tell from the name, takes in sounds through the ANC microphones and plays them back in your ears. To be completely honest, the hear-through mode doesn't sound that great and does sound pretty robotic or tin canny, especially when someone's talking. So most of the time, it's probably best to just take off the headphones. But if you'd like to hear what's around you when you're actively gaming, I guess it'd be okay. You could turn this feature on or off by just double clicking the power button. And again, when doing so, you'll hear a little chime in the headset to indicate that you did so. Above the power button is a small little light which will flash white when the headset's on. Below that is a mute button which sticks out farther when muted, but is almost flush with the headset when unmuted, which is something I've really liked about Steelseries headsets in the past, because if I'm ever unsure if I'm muted or not, I can just swipe my finger across. And again, just like everything else, you'll also hear a small beep when you mute or unmute. The volume rocker on the Nova Pro is slightly different than all the other Nova headsets by Steelseries. noise, because instead of being a smooth roll, it's tactile to show you how many individual decibels you've changed the volume. On the outermost part of the left ear cup, again, is a metal plate, but instead of being a battery under it when you take it off, there's a USB-C port, which I will admit is in a weird spot. But either way, you can use it to directly charge the battery inside of the headphones. I can't imagine needing to use this port while just sitting at your desk to charge your headphones because you have the DAC right in front of you. But if you're traveling or just out and about, I can see why you'd need this port because you won't have the extra battery on you. The ear cups on the Arctis Nova Pro are made from a super soft and squishy vegan leather. They're also surprisingly breathable, which lets your ears not get hot at all. If you look at the front of the headset on the left ear cup, you may not even notice that there's a microphone. The microphone sits flush with the headset when not using it, but can be extremely easily pulled out whenever you want to use it. On the microphone itself is a red light which shows whether you're muted and will go away if you're not. Out of the box, that light is extremely bright, but as I encourage you to do, you can change the brightness in either the Steelseries software, which we'll go over later, or on the DAC by pressing and holding down the volume knob, going to the system settings, then going to mic LED and change that to 1 or whatever you prefer. When it comes to the quality of the microphone on the headset, what you're hearing right now is coming directly from the microphone itself without any EQ settings on it. And now what you're hearing is with my specific EQ settings that I'll put on the screen right now. As I'm sure you could tell, it doesn't sound that much different, but what's going on right now is a lot more than you could probably tell. The Steelseries GG software gives you access to a lot of things. There's a compressor and a noise gate, which you can fiddle around with if you'd like, but there's also a Clearcast AI noise cancellation. When I tell you this feature is like magic, I genuinely mean it. Turning on Clearcast AI noise cancellation can essentially eliminate 99.9% of any excess noise coming into your mic from anywhere other than your voice. Actually, let me give you an example. Right now, you're hearing me directly through the Arctis Nova Pro wireless microphone with AI Clearcast noise canceling. As you can probably tell, I'm sitting right next to my box fan. It's on 3, it's on the max. Let me actually turn it off so you can hear what the difference is. Right now, I'm just talking normally, and this is with it on. As you can probably tell, my voice quality is a little worse considering how much it's doing to get this sound out and keep my voice in, but you can still pretty clearly hear me. In case you're wondering, this is the exact same situation without Clearcast AI noise cancelling on. Overall, the mic on the Arctis Nova Pro wireless is decent, but with a good EQ and Clearcast AI noise cancellation, it can be stepped up a lot. When it comes to comfort, this headset is overall extremely comfortable. The cushions are super soft, smooth, and create a great seal as I mentioned earlier. And compounded with the headband being super comfortable, I genuinely forget that the headset's on sometimes. However, weirdly, the height of the metal band structure is a bit shorter than my previous Arctis Nova 7 wirelesses, as you're seeing now. But I don't think that'll be much of an issue unless you have a really big head. When it comes to the audio quality, there's a lot to go over. The sound that comes out of the Arctis Nova Pro wirelesses is really good. By default, to me at least, it sounded very slightly muffled. But by playing around in the Steelseries software, I came up with this EQ, which makes this headset the best sounding pair of headphones that I've ever had. In the Steelseries GG software, there's also a ton of different game preset EQs, which can prioritize certain audio cues like footsteps. The Arctis Nova Pros can also take advantage of Steelseries Quickset, which lets you pair certain EQs to certain games, so when you just open that game, it'll automatically change the EQ. Personally, I like to have great audio quality no matter if it's giving me a slight disadvantage in games, but if you prefer every single advantage you could possibly get, then this might be a main selling point for you. When it comes to connectivity, the Arctis Nova Pro wireless connects to the DAC using a 2.4 GHz connection, which has essentially the same latency as being wired. The DAC connects to your PC using the included USB-C to USB-A cable, but can also connect to your PlayStation, Xbox, or any other device using the same port. Or you could use the dedicated Xbox port because I have the Xbox version. But this headset can also be used with the Bluetooth 5.0 mode that I mentioned earlier, as well as be used wired through the 3.5mm jack at the bottom of the headset. The audio quality and latency through Bluetooth is decent as expected. But the cool thing is that you can use the Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz connection simultaneously. So you can talk to your friends on Discord or something through the 2.4 GHz connection on your PC. But you can also connect to your phone using Bluetooth and watch TikToks or something and have both audios coming in at the same time. Now with all of that out of the way, there is a lot to like about these headphones and I personally love my time with them. But there still are a few cons or small things that I do want to mention. Firstly, there's no media controls on the headset. If you're not already used to media controls on a headset, then this definitely won't be a problem for you. But considering my old headphones, the Arctis Nova 7 wirelesses, had media controls built into the power button, which lets you pause or unpause your music with a click or double tap to go forward and triple tap to go back a song. I was extremely disappointed when I found out that the higher end headset didn't have this feature, which is really weird to me. So if you're like me and you currently have a headset that has media controls on it, which I always used to use to not need to tab out of my game just to change my music or pause it or go back or do anything with my music, then unfortunately you don't have that option with these headphones. Another thing that's a bit odd is the fact that every once in a while, it's not consistent, but every once in a while, there'll be weird interference as if I'm getting too far away from the DAC, even though it's like 4 foot away from me. I would understand this happening if I was too far away from the DAC or it was covered or blocked by something, but it's not. And lastly, for the cons, I don't think there's a little sound that plays in the headphones when the battery's about to die. I could be wrong about that, but from my experience, the only time the battery in the headset has gotten extremely close to dying, the headset just glitched and had a terrible repeating sound until I turned the headset off. I'm still not completely sure why that happened, but it did give me a little jump scare. But even with that being said, all you have to do is glance over at the DAC to see the battery percentage in your headphones, so it usually won't be a problem. When buying the Arctis Nova Pro wirelesses, you have the option to choose between the PC and Xbox version, as I have, which is compatible with essentially every device, including the PlayStation, and the PC and PlayStation version, which is compatible with everything the Xbox One is, other than the Xbox. So honestly, even if you're planning on specifically using this headset with a PC and PlayStation, I'd still recommend the Xbox version because there's literally no downside, and you can play on Xbox in the future if you get one. The price of the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro wirelesses comes in at $350, which is quite steep, but you're getting a very solid, incredible sounding headphones with essentially all the bells and whistles you would ever need. Personally, if you can afford it, I'd very much recommend getting these, but what do you guys think? If you've made it this far into the video, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you got something out of this video.